I'm Yuko Kadoshita. I will present about a study on rules of appropriate conduct between a man and woman in senior high school for special needs students with intellectual disabilities in Japan. There is a need for clarified practice on theme of love and dating in the senior high schools for special needs students with intellectual disability in Japan, with a view to their lives after graduation. However, it's important to note that the term appropriate conduct between a man and a woman is generally used in sexuality education, and student guidance is equipped with both sides of gender binaries and heterosexualism. Although there are practice of learning about love based on the understanding that love is interesting in others, including the opposite sex and the same sex. Based on the contents of previous studies and reports from the field, it's expected that sexuality education and student guidance, assuming appropriate conduct between a man and a woman, are still the mainstream in schools. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to clarify the existence of and reason for rules of appropriate conduct between a man and a woman in the high school for special needs students with intellectual disabilities. A web-based survey was conducted using an online questionnaire tool among 2,253 grade school principals of senior high schools for special needs students with intellectual disability in Japan. As a result, consent forms were received from 193 schools and 466 teachers responded. We asked if there were any rules of appropriate conduct between a man and a woman. The results were we do not prohibit between a man and a woman dating, but we have rules, 63.3%. We do not prohibit dating between a man and a woman, and we have no rules, 30.0%. We prohibit dating between a man and a woman, 5.6%. Next, we asked the teachers who answered, we do not prohibit it, but we have rules. About the contents of the rules, Figure 1 shows the result. The most common responses are having intercourse. Next, we asked the teachers who answered, we do not prohibit in dating between a man and a woman, and we have no rules. Figure 2 shows the result. The most common reason was because relationships are a private matter, and because I want to respect the decision of the students. In this study, 5.6% of the grade had a prohibition on between a man and a woman dating, and 63.3% of the grade had a rule of appropriate conduct between a man and a woman. The most common reason given for prohibited dating between a man and a woman was to prevent problems. What is important to focus on in this survey is that the most common rule was having intercourse. However, learning about intercourse, pregnancy, and childbirth is not activity taught in senior high schools for special needs students with intellectual disability in Japan. The background may be the influence of the Japanese curriculum guideline. In the future, we need to teach people with intellectual disabilities the sexuality education they need to appropriate conduct between a man and a woman, rather than prohibiting them from dating or setting rules for them. That's all I have to say. This slideshow reference. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you.